Welcome to the Hunt Club Curling Club. We're here at the 2015 Travelers Curling Club Championship. My name is Art Miskew, and I'm here with Emma Miskew, and we're about to watch a game between BC and the Yukon, a men's game. So they've drawn for the hammer in the first end, and looks like British Columbia has obtained the hammer. In this competition, they actually have each team throws 2 rocks to the button, and they take the cumulative amount, and the team that gets the closest between the 2 rocks gets the hammer. In this case, British Columbia has the hammer.
I think that's actually a new rule moving forward for all of the Curling Canada events and some world events too.
It seems to be a good idea because the odds of having 2 rocks cover the pin by 2 different players, and I believe 2 different sides of the sheet are smaller, I believe, so there's less chance of having a prolonged shootout, I guess.
Line's okay.
I think you use that too, haven't you, Emma, in some bonspiels as well? Or
yeah, when we went out to Stockholm this year, that was the first year that they did it, and there's some getting used to there, but yeah, there weren't any ties. Good first guard there.
Yeah, they've started by throwing a center guard, the Yukon team. Both these teams are 2-0, so they're this is a battle of undefeateds right now, and it's early in the competition, but it is nice that they're some of the games now are starting to get to be important as we get in, even just in the second day. And so the Yukon lead has just thrown up a guard, and so obviously with the 4-rock rule, they have to come around it. So the British Columbia team is calling an interim draw around the guard.
It's going now. Come on.
Some nice curl there.
Oh yeah, this ice has really been curling a lot. So.
Good boy, Derek.
Yep.
That's a nice shot. Just back the tee line, but buried behind the guard for sure. Looks like the Yukon now is following it down. Ideally, they want their rock to be right on top of the red one.
As the Yukon lead, Brad Wilson, and he threw the guard, so he should have a pretty good idea of the weight. Looks like he has lots of room coming by the guard, but the weight is pretty close, so the sweepers, Greg Tom and Lee Malinchuk, are ready to go. Still has to curl, and that doesn't look like it has a lot of weight, but it's still a little heavy, so this ice looks pretty keen to start the game, Emma.
Yeah. That was actually really close on the weight. If it had curled a bit more, it was only tapping it a couple inches, it would have been real good. It just hung out there a little longer.
The BC lead, Darren Jarvis, is asked by the skip Kevin Britz to throw another draw in there. Now that has quite a bit of room too, but now it's starting to come down. It's curling a little earlier than the Yukon rock, so he might have a pretty nice line here, but you can see he missed the guard by a good foot and a half, and he's still going to be partly guarded on this one.
Oh, that's a great shot. He's almost half buried here and above the tee line, so it's a little more challenging for the Yukon now. Looks like he's trying just a backline weight tap here, and he just wants hopefully a shooter to stick right in front there. Just tap one of the reds out and have a control rock in the front.
This is Lee Malinchuk, the second for the Yukon team, throwing an intern tap. Quiet hit, maybe. He's just, I haven't seen a hit thrown here yet, and this one looks like it's going right away, and I don't think this is going to get by the guard. No, he's on the guard for sure. Well,
it's a good tolerance miss there. I mean, at least now the rocks are open, so BC will have to decide whether they want to guard that or play something else.
Kevin Britz now the skip. He's asking his second, James Crawford, to maybe play a rock just in front of the shot rock that's just on the center line. I'd like to prevent a double from occurring here. But no matter where he goes, if he is in the rings, Yukon will have a chance to maybe double a couple of these rocks out.
Clean!
they're going pretty hard on this.
Yep.
This is a little tighter line than those the last draws, so the fact
Where
he's
is it?
lighter might be better, but
Clean.
they've got to get...
Clean.
Oh, that's going right in there, though.
Perfect. That's good. Stop there. Attaboy, James.
Just short of the rings.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shot. Can't see enough of either rock there.
In fact, I'd almost prefer to leave that short, Emma, rather than in the rings. So that might be making it a little bit harder for the double, because he's going to have to hit it anyway. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think the tight guard is a good call there. I mean, if you slip in, it's not a big deal, but at least this way it doubles a little longer.
Yeah. So
Yep,
Lee Malinchuk now throwing the out-turn hit.
Hard.
So they're playing the out-turn for the first
Hard.
time.
Hard. Hard.
And
Hard.
that's over curling.
Okay. Hard.
He is
Stay
going
on
to
it,
get it
boys.
out, but there's no double here.
That's fine.
That's a good shot. And now let's see what BC does here. Are they going to play short of the rings again, or are they going to come right in? Well, he didn't really indicate, so he might have indicated it by verbal communication with his second there, James Crawford. He's basically throwing similar shot to the one he just threw. Now, I don't know if they want it in or not.
Okay. Close.
Same spot's almost ideal in this situation.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, again, if you come a little deep here, you could easily set up a double,
Gonna work if
possibly
you
even a
can.
triple.
Gonna work. Whoa.
Line looks a little
whoa.
different, little higher line. So is that going to keep going, or is it going to stop in time?
It's a good shot there.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's still well, even though it's in, it's still a good 5 feet away. I don't believe there'd be a triple there. I think it would have to you'd have to really throw a lot of weight to get a triple, but there is a double for sure.
Yeah.
This is the Yukon third, to Greg Tom, and he needs a double here because they were chasing a little bit all S end after the wreck on the guard.
It's really close.
He's going to get something.
It's a pretty good shot.
Yeah. He cleared most of the whole house out there. He left the one yellow in the back. The good thing for him is he's 2 and 3. And it's a bit of an awkward spot there for British Columbia. They're going to have to deal with that rock right on the top 12, right off the center line. And Kevin Britz is asking his third, Kenneth Britz, to play a little hit here.
I think ideally they'd want to roll all the way over and keep the most separation in between the two red rocks.
Yeah, so this isn't
Lean.
an easy shot
Yep.
because if you roll too far, you're going to roll out. It doesn't sound like he's going to be rolling too far.
Right up. Yep. Right up. Hurry, guys.
It's just a little roll there.
It's not bad. He's only third shot though, but he's in a spot where Jim Sias from Yukon is going to have to deal with it because he can't just he can't get to the shot rock with that other red one right in front of it. So that's a pretty nice roll there. And a double attempt. It's going to be from Greg Tom, an in-turn takeout.
Double is there too.
Clean. Yep. 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 Hard.
Looks like it's curling
Hard,
early.
boy. Ah.
Yeah, good try, but he didn't quite make the double. So now it's a little easier maybe for BC. They've got the one in, and they have one in the back, just biting the back 8, and maybe a chance to get some separation. But no, it's interesting. He's looking like he's going to be playing another guard up, which
Because the back yellow is biting the 8 foot, so in order to make have separation in between those two rocks, you still have to stay at least half in the 8, and it's unless they're completely even, you're probably going to set up a double. So putting up the guard isn't a bad call here.
I was thinking, I wonder if he could freeze to the back yellow too.
Yeah.
That way it would make it double hard if he thought he could get enough curl. But the one thing about the guard, you better make it though. If it's a little off,
Hard, boys, hard.
give Yukon a chance to tap out
Hard.
the shot rock.
Hard. Hard.
They're going
Looks
pretty
pretty
hard.
close here.
All the way.
Yeah, I think he's
All the
got
way.
good line
Finish
on
it, boys.
this.
Finish it. Finish it. Finish it.
Little piece showing.
Yeah, not much showing there. That's covering at least 3/4 of the rock, I'd say, especially for a right-hander. He's looking at that. There's no way that Jim Sias will see much of that rock from the hack. So, but he's putting the broom down like he wants to play. Maybe quiet weight, backline to hack weight tap. If he has a hack weight, he might be able to just get around the guard. Especially, there seems to be a lot of curl here on this ice.
Okay, boys, hack weight.
Just wants to be careful. That guard is tight enough that if you hit it, you don't want to hit it into the rings. So as long as he has enough weight that he hits it out, then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a lot of tolerance on this shot, I don't think. So if he hits it a little, if he's just a little narrow, like you said, Emma, he might raise it in. And if he's a little wide, he might just take his own rock out. And that would give a little more space for BC to get another rock in there.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yep, yep.
He's out there. They're going hard now.
Hard, hard,
And it depends on the weight on whether this one will get by.
hard.
It's pretty close.
Ooh,
Wow.
great sweep.
That is a great shot. He could not see much of that, and he almost knows that. That's still guarded.
Yeah, he's for the better part of being guarded here, and that was a really good shot. Good sweeping by the front end. They
Yeah.
just got by the guard. I was looking on the angle, and it looked like it was just going to feather the guard, but they just got it by. So really good play.
Great weight control as well. It was just through the house. It was perfect weight for that hit.
Now I'm assuming that Kevin Britz will be throwing a pretty similar weight on this one, trying to make a similar kind of shot, just get by, and who knows, maybe he could get right to the nose or even get a little bit on the low side. But
The way it's curling, you definitely can.
he has to have perfect weight though. He can't overthrow this, and he can't underthrow it either. They're not touching it, but
I think maybe it's a little heavier.
it's starting to curl. He's got a little piece of the shot rock.
Yeah, that was just more weight than we saw from the Yukon. So I think that was the difference in the curl.
Now this is interesting because he's rolled for second shot, and now if Yukon was going to be conservative, they could just hit that out and get up one. But no, they're not. They're going to be coming around. They're going to be a little more aggressive, try and get around that guard, and maybe get a steal out of this. What do you think of this call?
I think if he knows his draw weight, it's a great call. It's a good opportunity to get your draw weight as well. But he has to make sure he's at least second shot for sure.
Yeah, that's key. He has to be second shot.
Keep her clean.
But they should know the weight here because this is where they played most of the first half of the end.
Yeah.
They had 3 or 4 draws.
These sweepers can communicate the weight to him, and he can at least be somewhere close on this one.
Yeah.
They'll sweep it there if he throws the right weight.
Whoa.
They're saying all there, so I don't think they're going to have to sweep for weight, and he's well by the guard.
Lots of room, guys.
Don't have any line issues here.
Don't lose it.
It is
Getting a
curling.
little- It's getting a little better.
Just leave it.
He doesn't want to go too deep.
As long as
Ooh, he just hangs on for 1-2.
don't think there's any double there, so it is a force, which is
You had the right.
exactly what he wanted, and this way he got to see what the draw weight was like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a double. There is a double, but you wouldn't stay.
Yeah, you'd roll
you
out.
wouldn't want to play a risky shot like that for no reason.
You can.
Now, the wonder
That control weight.
he's actually looking at the outturn side. That maybe he could come in that way. Similar side, similar to the shot he just threw. Now, do you wonder? Do you think there's any chance he could get almost to into the middle of those 2 rocks, and maybe just has to push one of them about 6 inches, and he'd be sitting 2.
Yeah, it's tough because you can't see any of the rock that's on center line, so you'd have to throw light weight to get up there.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Maybe control. So if he could throw maybe,
Make sure the nose anyway, yeah.
I don't think there's any way he could go on the low side of that one that's on the right of the center line and roll across the other one. So I don't think there's any risk of giving up the steal as long as he doesn't wreck on the guard or something.
Yep. Right.
Oh, they're jumping out
Whoa!
of his head here. Nope. Hold off.
Close.
He must be
Yep.
close.
Whoa. Hard. Whoa.
Actually, yeah, it's really close. He's getting
Oh,
the
he
curl
might
at the
have
end
this.
here.
He might have this.
Does have to come up a bit. Not quite. Really good try on that one. That was a tough shot.
Really good shot. He got 1, but he almost had 2. So there's a 1 count for BC.
Those rocks being right next to each other like that was a tough double with light weight. So
Yeah.
that's about as close as you could get.
Yeah, that was a hard shot without the guard there. So So after one end here in our 2015 Travelers Curling Club Championship from the Ottawa Hunt and Golf Club, it's BC 1 and Yukon 0. Now just to update some scores, do we have any scores? Oh, we have one big score over there in a women's game, Saskatchewan against Nunavut. Now it's 4-0 for Saskatchewan in that game. The Manitoba men cracked a 3 on the New Brunswick men on sheet 3, and Ontario got 1 on Newfoundland in the women's game, and just on the sheet 6 here, there was a blank end in the first end between PEI women and the Quebec women. So we don't have a score yet from the Northwest Territories and Alberta game.
Looks like lots of rocks in play over there.
Yeah, they had a lot of rocks. I didn't see what happened, but they're kicking out almost all the rocks in out there. So that's probably why it took a few extra minutes to play that in with all the rocks in play. So sheet B, you've got Saskatchewan. Nunavut is a developmental province
That
right
is
now.
a tight guard.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's almost in. So the BC team.
Oh, it is. It must be, and he's hitting it.
Oh, he is hitting it. So. Yeah, of course, if there's a rock that close to the rings, for people who don't curl as much, and they have to there's two skips have to agree on whether it's biting, otherwise they'd have to measure it. You can only hit it if it's biting.
Hard!
Ooh, they're
This
really
one's
going hard.
rolling, yeah.
All the way hard!
Doesn't have a
Harder
lot of
piece, guys,
handle
come on.
on it. It might not get a
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, a little miss there. And again, if you get to swingy ice, if they're not used to playing on it, if you don't throw a lot of turn on it, on the rock, you're going to get more curl, and that's exactly what happened there. So,
Oh, it looks like on sheet 1, Alberta took 3 on Northwest Territories.
oh, wow, yeah. So that was a big end for Alberta. Alberta, of course, one of the perennial powerhouses in curling, so we expect them to even have a good team in a club championship tournament. Same with Manitoba.
Here, guys.
Looks like
Right up. Get
BC's
ready.
throwing up
Get
a
ready.
second guard here.
Come on, guys.
Well, I guess the first guard, since the first one's actually in.
And they're really sweeping this one. This is a nice long guard, though. So BC showing they're willing to play ball here. They could have maybe just come in there or kept it a little more open, but looks like they want to be a little more aggressive without last rock. So Yukon, Jim Sias' team, he's asking his lead, Brad Wilson, now after the miss takeout. It would be a little harder to hit the rock now, although he could even have played a quiet hit on the shot they just missed with the outturn.
Line's
And you'd be
okay.
staying because the guard right now is fairly long. It's really just a guard for a guard.
Lots of room. Wait only.
It's a
Wait
pretty
only.
aggressive call then for
Lots of room.
Yukon.
He could be playing
Lots of
to
room.
his lead strengths
only.
as well, knowing maybe he likes one turn better than the other, or he knows his draw weight more than he likes playing hits, and so he called this shot to give him a better shot at making it.
Yeah, and he did make it, other than it didn't quite curl enough. And it's pretty open. So on swingy ice like this, you want to, especially on a long guard, you think you should maybe bury it a little better. But
Great weight, though.
yep, it was a good shot. And they did just sweep it enough.
Yep.
This will
Yep.
give BC a chance to make a hit and roll
Hey.
behind cover.
This is second James Crawford.
Whoa.
They're sweeping it. Now they've got him off. I think it might get a... Oh, he just peeked it. So,
Just overswept a little bit there. You heard him apologize.
yeah, you might have... Maybe it had a little more weight than he thought, because it did end up with a fair bit of weight. And the ice is so keen for draws, you don't really even have to throw a lot of weight on the hits, and you think you're throwing control, and it ends up with pretty solid normal.
Good sweepers, too. They can really hold the line.
Yeah, they were able to keep that pretty straight. And, ooh,
Yep.
little
Yep.
stumble
Yep.
coming
Yep.
out for Lee Malinchuk, but he righted the ship before he let it go. They're really sweeping a little lighter weight, so they really have to sweep this if they want to get to...
Oh, he's
Yep,
close.
hard.
It's a close line to the
This
other.
might be good on the roll.
Hard.
Oh, real nice shot.
Really, yeah, that's a great shot.
Sweet, boy.
He's buried right on the button.
It's a really good sweep, too. They were sweeping that all the way. BC has to make a decision whether they want to play a little run back here, a tap, or they could even come and freeze to it to try to force the end.
I think he's trying to tap his own. The one thing, you do have a few options on this, I guess, Emma. You could tap it straight back, and if you don't, you could just split it open, and it kind of opens up most of the shot rock, and you you'd be sitting second and third.
Yeah, for sure. The ice he gave, it looks like they're throwing a draw, but I mean, if he opens it up, that's pretty good too.
Well, not yet, not yet, not yet. How's the weight? Gonna need a little bit for a bump.
Looks a little light.
Yeah, they're gonna really have to go if they want to bump this in. I think they.
Now they want to make sure it curls up so they have an angle.
Yeah, I thought they were not sweeping just because it didn't have the line, but it still had to have the weight on it, didn't it? I'd rather not have the perfect line to get there. Be sitting 2 and 3 on that one.
Yeah, you want us to watch where they put this rock, because if they kind of place it right behind those two red guards that are lined up, it would just be a hit it anywhere and it'll make contact with the yellow in the house.
Yeah, that's true. And the angle right now, I don't think, especially with the high side showing, the drag effect on the two reds would drag it past the yellow, I believe, wouldn't it?
I think so. Drag's always a little tricky to figure out exactly where it's going to go, but
Yeah.
this one
So-
looks like it's
We got.
all there
Where are we?
weight-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, you were, like you mentioned, you're in a bit of a quandary. I mean, you didn't want to leave it too short, but on the other hand, you really don't want to go back there either.
All right.
No, that's not too bad, because at
No,
least
no.
if they freeze on that one now, they're not shot.
Yep.
And it did bury behind their own rock.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty nice shot with just a couple of feet less weight, maybe just biting the top button. But as you said, it's not that bad. It's getting congested around the 4 foot.
BC will play a freeze here. If they can sit right on top of the rock that's on the button, they'll be looking good to at least hold the Yukon to 1 point this end.
Yeah, because there's not much in what they call the scoring area now. If they can get this one in,
Good.
looks like nice
Yep.
weight.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, the supers are saying it's all
Close,
theirs. They don't want to
wait.
go yet.
Whoa. Up. Yep. 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 Whoa. Hurry. Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What a shot.
Like it.
That
Like
curled
that?
a lot at the end.
That almost looked like it grabbed right at the
Yeah.
end. Because to make it curl that much, we didn't think he could get right down to the shot rock. We thought he was actually trying to draw to the second shot, and I think he was.
They didn't get by the guard by a whole lot, so that was
Yeah.
good finish at the end there.
Yeah.
Now the Yukon will try to freeze on top of that and keep an angle so that if they can open things up, they might be able to bump out to the red for multiple points.
Yeah, this is a pretty precise shot, though, that
Wait only.
Greg
Lots
Tom
of
is
room.
playing here. He's
Lots of
got
room, boys.
lots more line
Let
than
it
the
break.
previous shot.
Whoa.
He's definitely not going to get to that red one.
No, this one looks a little heavy too.
Gotta take
Yeah,
it deep,
if
Lee.
you're
Gotta
already a little
deep,
wide and you're a
here.
little heavy on top of it, and you're not going to get the same line as the previous one. That's actually, well, didn't really end up in a good spot because Red BC with Kenneth Britz here could just come right down to those two, and
Because he still wouldn't be shot though. Shot rock will be yellow.
yeah.
You'd have to actually hit the yellow one out in order to be shot back there.
Is he playing the hit?
It looks like
believe
he's
he
hitting
might.
the back yellow.
Yeah, that's interesting. He could actually get a little hit and flop in front of the other yellow, which wouldn't be too bad.
Whoa. Close.
He'd like to get out of the way of the yellow on the button. And just you don't want to be backing for it in case you do have a crack at it. No,
This
he's
is
on
like
the
a
run.
little straight spot here. They swept a couple early and held them, and I think now it's just running straight on all hits.
It is curling on the draws though, just as it was.
Yeah. With any extra weight, it seems to be tracking a little bit. So Yukon's trying the same shot here, so a freeze on top of that red one.
Big shot for Greg Tom here. This last one was just a little heavy and a little wide, but this one's definitely a little tighter. So he has a better chance, and they are
Line's
sweeping
okay.
a little
Where's
more.
The weight?
Yeah.
It looks lighter to me.
Where's the weight? Just here.
Yeah, it's nice when
Lots
you
of room.
give
Room.
your
Line's
third the
good.
same chance
Room.
to throw the same
Whoa.
shot.
Room. Just here.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, now they just have to see where they want to go on the
Good.
angle.
That's great. Right there. Float.
Oh, they almost want to hold the angle.
Did that overcurl just a fraction maybe? Or
Yeah, a little bit, but that's a pretty good shot.
yeah, that was pretty
Red
good.
definitely can't get that out now.
Kevin is looking at this.
That side?
He loses back. Or
Yeah.
5.
Each team here in these 8 end games gets
if he
30
does
minutes of
play-
thinking time.
What does he leave us?
Go up the open. Well,
I'm just wondering if I even want to cover this side.
that's his bump now, right?
Although I know with weight it's tough. If we go here, something to play with. That's what I gave you. Let's go out there.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was just that time, but I don't hear them very well.
So it looks like they're playing either a freeze
What do you
here
think?
or a guard.
Not quite sure what he might get out of the center one if he hits. He may just take all 3 of his and leave us sitting one. So
It's hard to tell with the drag sometimes what's going to happen, but
Yeah, Kevin was just worried about, or not worried. He's interested in what might happen if you if red hit, or if yellow hit the 2 reds in the front. Would
it's
the
a little
yellows
risky
go?
to run the opposing team's rock in there.
Yeah, especially when, like he said, the back 2 yellows might go. In any event,
not deep, not deep.
I think he just wants to get another one in there, and
Whoa!
And they definitely, the line's really good, so it just depends if it stops.
We're trying.
yeah, no question. Where does he want it exactly, though, too?
It's really curling. Like it's such good finish
Oh.
here.
A little bit off that roll.
Oh, I was surprised they didn't want to get a little further in.
Well, you know
Wait.
what? They redirected that angle, and now that run back they were talking about is no
That
longer
actually
there.
helps.
Do you think it's not there because of that rock blocking it?
The
Or-
rock's blocking it a little bit, and I think now it's
That
actually
probably helps, actually.
might do exactly what he was talking about. It might take out all the yellows and leave the red in there.
That curled a
If you throw
lot.
it hard enough, the red would have to go, though, wouldn't it? If
Oh,
you-
with the, but the rock that's going to be run in would definitely stay.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation for the Yukon because they could try something, but it might be a little bit risky. They could try and throw at those 2 red guards, but like I say, it might be risky that a lot of their yellows would maybe all disappear. So
And they're signaling a draw on the outturn side here, which is a great shot for his last shot because he still does have a draw to the button for 2.
yeah,
So you don't really want to block that off quite yet.
so he's going to give it a shot with the in-turn, the same turn they've played the last few shots. It's interesting. The first end had more interns in it, and the second end's having more interns in it. But at least we're getting the ice broken in on both sides. Maybe the team prefer the interns.
It's going to be tough to throw that outturn draw after no one's thrown it all end.
Yeah, I'll have to remember the weight from
Even
the
a
first
guard,
end.
like if we're top house, I don't care.
So you heard him. He's kind of wanting to block this. I think he doesn't necessarily want to get right in there, and although he could, his option is to be light, not heavy. So if he's just top house, he thinks he's going to be all right. But he'd prefer to be right on the button area, I think, because he could be sitting 2 after this shot if
Yeah,
they sweep it right.
You could
Up
get
here,
in
guys.
for second shot.
Yep,
I don't
Yeah.
think they're trying that though.
Here, yep,
The line looks good.
yep. Okay, whoa, whoa.
It looks a
No,
little
he's saying
tight.
whoa. So no, it's definitely guard weight. Like you were saying, I wonder if you hit those reds, if you actually took the yellows out. I wonder if BC would take them on.
I don't think either team is fully comfortable knowing what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I'd like to see what's going to happen. I
These two might both
wouldn't mind if he played it.
5 might possibly stay.
Yeah, 5 will probably.
I think the rock that
Three will
would
probably stay.
be run
Just
in
cover
would
the
stay for
side.
sure. It just depends how many yellows go.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I guess maybe he's trying a guard here, trying to block the draw for 2.
Could be, yeah, because I don't think there's really any shot for him to get in there. If he did get in for shot, it'd be a tap for 2 for sure.
Yeah, just cover that 4-foot.
Yeah, he wants to cover the 4-foot, he said.
Plays the other one.
I think the way
I
it
don't think
curls,
you can see
the
enough of it. That's
intern's
what's
almost
bigger
still
weight.
there,
He
but
needs
it
to leave us
definitely
the
is a
one
little
he
bit
makes
tougher with where the rock is.
Yeah. Well, he has to guard one or the other. He can't
I think he's going
guard
to hit
both.
that other red one. And even then, that's pretty risky for him, too. So
it in. So Kevin Britz here, just throwing an out turn pretty well a guard. He probably wouldn't mind it if it
Where is
just
he?
gets pretty tight, because if it
Over-curling.
over-curls, it's not really going to be much of a guard.
These shots are always tough because you have to go out so wide on ice that curls. And you see this often where the guard will just go to center line anyways, and they have the same shot. You almost have to take the other turn on those the way that it's curling.
Yeah, I guess you could take the the in turn on that, maybe just outside the 4 foot.
Yeah, and just try to cross because guarding the 4 foot line is what you really want to do. But those shots just curl so much. It's hard to take enough ice there.
385.
So it comes down to Jim Sias now for Yukon having a tough draw for 2. He's got to put it almost on the button, and all kinds of guards in front. So he has a chance because the ice curls, but it's definitely not an easy shot.
No, it's definitely a sweeping shot. If he throws the weight
T-line.
close, the sweepers can manage it the best they can.
The lines there.
But it's not easy.
No, I'd say if most people, it's going to be a low percentage. Maybe Kevin Cooey would make this more than half the time, but not too many other guys. But Jim's got to give it a shot. There's nothing to lose here. He's not
Lots of room.
going to give up one. He's going to
Might be heavy
score
on
one
the
for
side.
sure.
Lots of room.
Yeah, I think they're
Don't lose
signaling
it.
that they think it's
Yep.
a little heavy here.
Just for weight.
Oh, it's
Sweeping it a bit.
curling. It's because it's really curling. So it kind of depends how it bounces off.
No, it's a little.
Oh, really good try, though.
Nice try.
Great line, just a couple feet too heavy.
Yeah, those are tough because the way it curls like that, it's hard to get it in there. But in any event, it was a score of 1 for Yukon here. So after 2 ends of the Travelers Curling Club Championship here at the Ottawa Hunt Club, it's 1-1. So it's 1 for BC and 1 for the Yukon. Now going across the scoreboard, I think we were giving you some scores earlier. I think I told you that Alberta was up 3-0. Well, Yukon's come back with 1 in the second end, so it's 3-1 for Alberta. Saskatchewan now in the women's side has cracked another stolen 2, so they're up 6-0 on Nunavut. So it's getting a little out of hand. And Manitoba on the men's game is up 5-0 on New Brunswick. So they stole 2 more in the second end. Ontario and Newfoundland on the women's side had a blank in 2, so it's still 1-0 for Ontario. And Quebec got on the board over PEI. They got 1 point, and I thought they were drawing for 3 at one point, but they ended up with 1. So it's 1-0 for Quebec over PEI on the women's side over on the sheet 6.
Keep it
So
clean.
now we're
Clean it.
starting off here in the third end of our
Split
feature
the
game.
center line. Split the center line. Yeah, hard. Come on, guys. It's late.
And the Yukon lead now. Brad Wilson is being asked to throw up a center guard. Pretty good, but it just curled a little bit off the center line. So Kevin Britz from BC doesn't mind that. He's going to play the out-turn draw around it, staying away really from plugging up the center. So he's asking Darren Jarvis to play an out-turn draw around the center guard.
Got room. It's got room. Just for weight. Yep. Yep. Hurry, guys.
They got to go hard on this one.
Hurry, guys.
And he's, just feathers the guard.
That's good. That's good. Atta boy.
Well, he got a corner guard out of it, but he did knock the yellow rock from Yukon back to the center line. It's now covering part of the center while it wasn't before. His weight was pretty good. It was all there, in fact. So maybe just curled a little more than they wanted. Now Brad Wilson is asked to throw another intern around this guard. He could be
Don't give up
short
on it.
too,
It's
but
coming down. Okay. Wait only. Lots of room. Lots of room. Wait only. Wait only. Wait only.
he had lots of room by the guard, and I think it is going to slip a little
Yeah, you're
behind
right.
the T-line
I'm
here.
saying don't give up on it.
Kevin Britz getting in there and bringing it back to the back 4. So sitting 1. Yukon is sitting 1 here. Darren Jarvis being asked by Kevin Britz to throw a little out-turn takeout. This is similar to the spot that
Clean.
Kevin threw in the second end.
Yep.
Sorry, the first end.
Hey! Right up.
I got to go hard to get this by. Oh, he just feathers the guard, and is it going to go far enough?
Yeah, that's going out.
Yes, it is. So that's one that just touched the center guard, and because it's in the free guard zone with the 4 rock rule, it comes back.
So sometimes the downside of throwing extra weight on those ones is that the guard will go completely off, or if you just throw just through the house weight, the guard isn't going to go out of play.
Line's good. Top 4. Top 4. Line's great. Lots of room. Room.
Looks like it is
Let
a
break.
little straighter on this out-turn side for the draws.
Okay, now finish it. Let's go. Keep her going, boys. Keep her going. Hard. Keep her going. Hard.
Really nice
Pretty
shot.
good.
Oh, that's pretty good. It's not completely buried, but it's got perfect weight. The one thing Kevin Britz can do with this hit is they could, whether they make the double or not, they
That's
could
a
get the
little
hit
more
and
ice,
roll
actually.
behind the corner guard. Because he can see a little over half the rock, I think.
Room.
James Crawford throwing a little
Yeah.
quiet weight hit. Here it comes.
Whoa.
Nope, they're off again. It's close.
Whoa.
They're just trying to get the roll, so they don't want to roll too far.
Ooh, just missed the double, but he got the roll. So, I mean,
Really
it's
nice
pretty
shot.
hard to get both. So, really nice shot from James Crawford there. It's a little nice out-turn hit and roll behind the corner. Jim Sias now, he's going to ignore that one. He's seen this out-turn draw
Nice, good.
before. So he's asking Lee Malinchuk to come on
Lots
top
of room.
of, well, in front of his rock. Similar weight to the last one. It's just maybe
Room,
like to
weight
get
only,
a little more
weight
curl
only.
to get it fully buried.
Wait only. Where are we?
It's well by the guard.
Looks heavy. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, guys. Okay, no biggie.
Not terrible, but he would have liked to have it a little lighter, maybe a little more curl. It was definitely out wider. They maybe overswept it a bit. Now again, for Kevin Britz, he's asking James Crawford to play that similar kind of hit. He can't make the double because he wouldn't be able to get to the proper side with the guard there.
Yep.
I'd say if he got pretty close to the nose, he'd be happy about it. They're really going on this. Is he by? Oh, he's by. This looks like a pretty good shot.
Nice weight. He knows that's a great shot.
Oh, that's a really good shot. Not only is he shot, but it's the yellow rock, that second shot, is fairly vulnerable. It's right behind the red one that you just threw. So,
And there's definitely no roll behind the
Control.
center guard off that red one
no.
without jamming on your own.
Now that's a little bit of an advantage here. They have the hammer, the BC team, and they're sitting first and third. So Yukon has to be pretty careful here. And this isn't an easy shot for Greg Tom to get this rock out of here and maybe stay for
clean,
2. It's got to
whoa,
be perfect.
whoa.
I don't even think he's trying that, or is he? This is close. Is he going to roll a
Just
bit
has to
too
come
far?
up a little bit.
Oh, that was almost perfect.
Yeah, really close.
It's close for second. It looks to me like it's red, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think Kevin Britz just pointed at himself, meaning it's ours. So that gives them an advantage here because they've got the one that's pretty well buried, and the Yukon rock in the back 4 is pretty open. So Kevin Britz now asking Kenneth Britz to throw the little hit on this one. I don't know whether he wants to roll behind the guard here. What do you think, Emma?
I think
Yeah.
they can roll right into the other yellow one, too.
Yep.
Yeah, that might be better
Full
than
of
rolling.
options.
Yeah, that'd be better than rolling to the center, wouldn't it? Oh, he's really tight. Is he by the guard? Oh, he's
he's
by the
by.
guard.
Just hoping they don't roll too far at this point. You want to stay shot too. Oh. Yukon wants to get that rock out, which they
No.
did. Still a tough decision on what to do here because you can't really get that red one out, the shot rock.
No. I mean, if the yellow wasn't behind it, you might want to play the double, but if you happen to miss it, you might just jam it on and leave 2 in the house. Yeah, it's might be a double you could take on, though. If you missed it, you just go out on the high side, but
Little tight.
Jim Sias asking Greg Tom, he figures maybe the best way to get in here is be offensive and try and come right around that center guard.
Top 4. Hard. Hard for line.
It'll
Hard
definitely be buried if they get by.
Oh,
Okay.
it's gonna. I
We're
think
get
it's
your
gonna
body,
over curl, isn't it?
Top 4, top 4.
Nice shot around the guard, but the way it curls, look at that thing
Okay,
go.
Greg.
Yeah, it's almost completely
Robert,
open.
roll it.
The only way he was going to bury that around that guard would have been just for shot rock in the top 8.
Doesn't matter.
Really nice. Really nice.
Either
week, though.
or.
Now, Kenneth Britt's almost throwing the same shot he just threw. In fact, if he throws the same shot, he won't roll out. He might even roll behind the center, and it's a little better to roll behind the center now. That rock's just in front of the tee line, so he'd stay in front of the tee line.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah, 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 ah.
This one's hanging a
Yep,
little wider in that straight spot.
Well, like you said, though, I mean, he's
They're
got
going
the
for
catcher.
double.
Ooh. And it. And it. Did it work?
Surprised that the Yukon wasn't sweeping that rock.
It's close for second shot.
If they're not if the yellow's not second shot, then the Yukon has to hit that rock.
Pretty sure we're second. Pretty sure we're second.
You heard Jim
shot, eh?
Sias say they're pretty sure they're second, so if it
Yeah,
wasn't,
we're
they'd,
ace.
like you said, Emma, take out the
Yeah,
red
well,
one way at the
that
side.
really
But
acted funny. I think that ice is
Kevin
good.
Britz is looking at it too. It can't be that obvious if he's looking at it a few times the way he's doing it.
Okay. Okay. 385. 385. Lots of room.
Looks
Line
like they're
good.
trying a draw
Line
here
good.
again.
Top 4, boys.
He just really has to be shot. If it's top 4, that's great, but you want to at least be full 8 foot.
Yeah, and he's got to be shot rock. He's got a nice looking line.
Whoa, whoa,
Might be
whoa,
over curling
whoa,
again.
whoa.
The spot just really finishes.
That's a little
pretty
better
good.
though. You don't see a whole ton of that rock, so it's probably at least
finally threw draw weight for a
2/3
change.
buried. That was almost perfect, but again, it's so hard when it's curling this much to get it fully buried behind a guard. Seems like we've been under curling or over curling almost every time.
Flip the front, that's fine, but nice to get the back one.
Yeah, like you just heard him say, hit the front, that's fine, because he knows that he might have a shot on his next one.
This is an important shot here. It's not easy, like he said. He could hit the front one too. He is on the guard for sure.
It's a good tolerance miss.
Yeah. Well, now Yukon has to decide. It looks like he's pretty set with what he wants to do. Pretty sure of himself. He had the broom down, but now he's looking at it again.
Yeah,
Oh,
as long as we don't set up a
Just gotta
double.
make sure we're second shot.
this isn't an easy shot.
Yeah.
He's playing the
It's
draw to
gotta
a
be like
spot
right there,
where
'cause
we
don't want to set up a double, eh?
haven't really played before for a draw coming off the center line like this, and he doesn't. A, he doesn't want to set up a double, but B, he has to be
Okay, guys,
almost
just
full
even
8
with-
foot.
Even with the other one. Okay, even
So,
up with the other one. There's no double.
tough shot for the sweepers here, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't, like, he could guard it again. It's
Yeah,
just
basically.
clearly really tough to make a perfect guard and not still give the other team a chance to come and hit it out the way it's curling out here.
Yeah.
He also needs to make sure he sticks around in the 8-foot. The way it's curling, it's not as easy as it sounds.
Where is it?
No.
Gotta move.
He's got good line,
Gotta
though.
move. Take it deep,
Just
you
ain't got to
guys.
move. They're afraid of
Take it
setting
deep.
up the double, but they do have to be setting 1-2. That's the first objective. Ooh, it's not curling that much. He
all the
very
way, all
well
the way,
could
all the
set
way,
up
all
a
the way,
double
all the
here.
way.
Well, if they can bring it a little deeper, then it's actually not bad.
Actually, yes, you're right. That's a tough double now.
Sorry, guys.
It's really thin to hit it with the in-turn. And with the out-turn, unless you throw really light
never
weight,
curled at
you're
all.
definitely rolling out if you make that double.
Yeah.
Weight was good. Weight was perfect.
You might even roll towards your second shot there.
They seem a little surprised it didn't curl, and sometimes when it's curling so much towards center, it doesn't curl as much going to the wings, which seems to be what they got caught in there.
2/3? 2/3? Throw normal. Throw normal, get about 2/3.
So he's thinking hitting 2/3 with normal weight. He will roll out, but hopefully he's able to kind of roll into his other rock and might be able to stick for 2.
You might as well try it, I guess. I mean, you could try and just hit for 1, but that's not even that easy. So Kevin Britz here for BC, trying a tricky double that might get him 2. I mean, there's an outside chance he could get 3, but I don't think that's quite either. They're not touching it. Is he a little full on this one?
Yeah, it's looking like he's not hitting a whole lot of the top rock here.
Well, good try, but he ended up jamming it. So it's clear now that was a steal of 1 for the Yukon. So after 3 ends now of the Travelers Curling Club Championship here at the Hunt Club, Ottawa Hunt and Golf Club, it's 2-1 for the Yukon. And this is Art Miskew here giving you this streaming with Emma Miskew. And
I did that yesterday.
we're going to go into the
Wide
4th
open.
end here with a
Flat.
2-1 lead for Yukon over BC. Checking a few other scores here on an Alberta
Go for a
against Territories men's game over on
Slippery
sheet 1.
here.
It's 5-1 for Alberta. Alberta has a few fans out here. They're from the Lethbridge area. And it's 8-0, unfortunately, for Saskatchewan over the Nunavut team over on sheet 2 in a women's game. Again, Nunavut's trying to develop their curling program, and they're going to have some growing pains here. So, but just coming here is great experience for them, and they're getting to see how other people curl, like in Saskatchewan. And those are tough teams to beat.
That's
Manitoba
good.
is up in a men's game over New Brunswick, 5-1. New Brunswick just got 1. Ontario is in a women's game
Lots
is
of
tied
room,
with
guys.
Newfoundland 1-1.
Yeah, bring
And
it. Keep her-
PEI just cracked a
keep her
3
coming.
over
Get her
Quebec,
now.
so
Yeah,
they're up
finish it. Hard.
3-1
Far as you can.
in a
far as
women's
you can.
game.
Far as you can.
It's tough in some of the
Very good.
territories
Okay,
or
guys, good
smaller
for you.
provinces because there's some restrictions to playing in the Travelers in that you can't have a whole lot of players that have been to a provincial for playdowns. So if in the smaller provinces, a lot of people can make the provincials just because there aren't a ton of teams competing for them. So it really limits the amount of players that are eligible for this championship from there.
Whereas, of course, some of the bigger provinces like Manitoba, Alberta,
Just for weight. Lots of
Ontario,
room.
and others,
Lots of room.
Wait's close.
it's hard to
Lots of
sometimes
room.
get to a provincial,
Tons
so
of room.
you have more chance
Let
to
it
have
work. Let it
club
work.
curlers
Let it
who are
work.
pretty good players
Stay with it.
who just haven't
Yep,
been to a
yep,
provincial.
Yep. Right up. Right up. Right up. Right up.
Good center guard for the Yukon team, but a little off the center line, and a similar start to the last end where now Kevin Britz, the BC team, has played the intern draw around the guard, and it's a nice draw around there. It's pretty guarded, and it's well in front of the tee line. So tough shot here for Yukon.
Thanks.
We're playing a little intern tap, and that's Brad Wilson. He, on the release, it looked like he got a little wide on that one, and they're backing off for sure.
Yeah, this is a straight spot too. And I was actually just told that they've changed the rules in the territorial provinces that only the winner who goes to either the Scotties or Briar cannot play in this, but the other teams can. So that's a good rule for them. They at least have a chance at playing in this as well.
Yeah, that is a good rule because when you go up to the north, I mean, it's been dominated by one or two men's teams recently, and with, of course, Jamie Cooey on the men's side, and on the ladies' side with their sister, who's
Galusha.
Galusha.
Right up.
Yeah, and of course, Sarah Colton was the team from the territories who went to the Scotties
From
a
the
few years ago.
Yukon.
Yeah, it was all one team, either Yukon or territories. So.
They're a great young team. They're at the Scotties with us a couple of years ago, and they can definitely play.
I think they had their big win over there against Stephanie Lawton from Saskatchewan. So that was their. They win a lot of the games though too. But anyway, having said that, but Nunavut hasn't ever had a team in either the Briar or the Scotties. But they're they're a new association, and they're starting to they're trying to get their feet wet.
Mark!
So there was a miss after the miss from
Clean.
Saskatchewan from Yukon.
Clean. Yep. Whoa.
Kevin Britt's team, the
Whoa.
BC team, came up a
Whoa.
little short on the open draw.
Whoa.
Now this looks like
Whoa.
a nice looking shot here for Lee Malinchuk coming in to tap this red. I don't know if he's going to quite get it out. No,
That was
he's
a
not.
tough shot. Couldn't see much of that rock.
No, he did
Yeah,
about
man,
all he
good
could do
throw.
on that. And like you say, it's a little straight there if you throw any weight.
I don't know. Yep. Well. Up.
BC playing a little hit on this rock down here to sit two.
Right up.
One thing they could have done here, Emma, was probably they could have played a draw. They were sitting shot.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's the comfort level of the draw weight.
That's not
Is-
actually that bad.
No,
He
it's
was-
unfortunate to group the rocks so close together.
Yeah, but it could have, if it rolled a few more inches, it would have been a pretty easy double. Now it's not. So Jim Sias has to play a little quiet weight hit and roll in front, which isn't that easy.
Line's pretty good.
Looks like pretty close.
Just clean. Just
The
clean.
spot's
think they
curling
gotta
a
go.
lot.
Yep. Yep. Gotta go. Yep. Hard. Okay, this is good.
Nice try.
Yep. I guess it could have rolled either way a little bit. But
At least it keeps the rocks grouped pretty close together.
yeah, now BC playing their second, a little out turn takeout. James Crawford now, and where do you think he wants to roll on this one?
I think he signaled to roll behind the guard on this. They want to keep more separation between their other shot rock and the one that they're throwing right now. Looks like they're a little wide on this, though. I don't think they're going to stick around.
No. Yeah, he easily rolled out on that, so that loses the opportunity for the two here. So now it's back to a fairly open end. Jim Sias now asking his second. Oh no, it's his third. Greg Tom to throw a little out turn, hit and stay. Really wants to stay here because he would prefer BC with Kevin Britt's team not to be able to draw around those guards, and rather make him hit. That's a little quiet. I think that's really starting to go.
Hard.
I think he called lightweight on this. Just
Forward.
the spot's curling a ton.
Okay, good straight, boys. Good straight.
Okay, they have a piece.
Yeah.
Now, the bad thing about it, of course, is BC has a chance to come around either of one of two guards, and it's a lot easier to place the rock drawing around the guard than it is to hit and roll behind the guard.
And they've seen this spot a few times, too, so they should know what it's doing here.
Yeah, I expect he could get this pretty well behind this guard in front of the tee line. That's where his lead threw it earlier in the end.
They really want to keep this rock above the tee line. Otherwise, Yukon will follow them down.
Got room
They're
just for weight.
just dusting it. Looks like lots of room. Weight looks pretty close, though.
Lots of room. Lots of room. Let it work.
Yeah, that's not curling much yet.
I think the spot straightened out a little bit in the last few ends. We played a lot here a couple ends ago, and it was curling a ton, and I think it's just a little straighter than it was. Still got good finish on that, though.
Not a bad shot at all. He's about half buried, I'd say, isn't he? And he's asking for about hack weight, I think. So Greg Tom just trying to throw a little hack weight shot. He had a pistol here a couple bends ago, I think.
Whoa! Whoa!
It's not narrow.
Yeah, you don't want to get it out in
Whoa,
this spot.
let
It's
it break.
running real straight here.
Whoa! Never.
Weight's
never.
good, but that still has a lot of curling
Never.
to do.
Yeah.
Never.
Right now, he does not have a piece
I
of
want
it.
to hit it. No, don't take it by. We gotta move it.
That's
Okay.
just enough of it that
Okay.
it's in the open now anyway.
Yeah, the worst thing he could have done was just touch it and move it about 2 inches. Or even not at all, but
I think that spot's tricked them a couple of times because it was curling and it's pretty straight in comparison now.
yeah, you have to be so precise on that shot, though.
Uh,
Now BC, another chance to throw the exact same shot they just threw. They'd love to get this buried around this guard.
thought it was gonna come back, but it just doesn't. It doesn't
For
want
weight.
to come
Just
out.
for weight. Lots of room.
Because that would pretty well mean Yukon would have to concede a 2.
Close.
It's got lots of room.
Room. How's the weight?
Weight looks pretty close.
Lots of room. How's the
Whoa.
weight? Right off. Let it
Yeah, as
work,
long as
let
they
it
can
work.
keep this above the tee line, they're in pretty great shape to get 2 here.
Stay with it. Yep.
Yep. Hard. Yep. Come on. Hard now. Come on. Yep. Come on. Yep. Come on. Yep.
Okay. Got a boy.
Not bad. It's not quite as buried, but boy, it'd be kind of risky to take that on, wouldn't it? When you've got an open rock you can hit too. I don't think you can see more than half that rock, so yeah. I don't really think it's worth the risk, do you, to play this?
No, I guess they're worried that if they don't make a move on this rock, then they can draw another one around there, or maybe freeze on the rock that if they hit that side one over there, freeze on it, and then they would be looking at more than 2.
Yeah, I suppose so. They could give up 3, but you could give up 3 on this one too. So I guess they're a little bit between a rock and a hard place. But it's a big shot now for Jim Sias here from the Yukon team. He at least has to get this out. If he can get a piece of it, even if he doesn't stay and get it out, the worst he could do is give up 2. Good looking throw coming out of the hack.
Whoa. Yep. Yep. Clean.
Looks pretty close. Depends on the weight here.
And they're going hard.
Hard,
I
guys.
think he's by. Oh, is he? Oh, he just feathered the guard. Nice try. He actually threw that quite well. That's, like you say, a tricky spot, Emma.
Yeah. Might have just been a little bit lighter than the other throws, and
Yeah,
that could have made the difference between getting by and not.
yeah, that was a pretty nice throw. He just feathered the guard. Yeah, if he had gotten by that guard, he would have. I wouldn't have been surprised if he actually gotten the low roll on that.
Fortunately, now they are looking at potentially a score of 3 for BC, so they'll have to make a decision on the next one and see what they want to do. BC hopefully, or they just want to go in front of it, bury a little piece behind the guard, but also guard the rock that is top 8 there, just so that they can't get a double on either of them.
And I would think this doesn't have to be quite as precise, just given the fact you don't want to give up 4. So if you don't make it quite perfectly, there's a good chance that Yukon might just take out the shot rock. Anyway, like you say, he doesn't want to leave it out and give up a double.
Room. Lots of 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 room. Stay close. Lots of room. Yep. Yep. Hey.
Looks like a pretty good shot coming in.
Hard. Hard. Hard.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
He almost went too far.
Still tough. I don't think you can see a ton on the inside of that top 8 rock there to get a double.
Is there any? He could, try a little hit and roll. Is there any way, if he could do that, would he maybe be second shot right in front of the shot rock?
It's a pretty precise shot, but there's no harm in trying it because if he hits the open one over there, it's a score of 3, likely anyways. So he may as well try.
Yep.
Still be second shot.
The key thing is can he get second shot, and he thinks he can. So I
Okay.
mean, you could always draw for second shot there, but that's a little
I
risky.
like the double. I like your initial call.
Oh, they're saying they like the double.
I just don't think you can see that much of it.
Yeah, the
Greg.
double looks tough. I
Okay.
think
Oh.
the,
I gotta
there's not a
throw
ton
normal
of
to make the
air.
double. The only way I make the double
Yeah,
is this
well,
way, I think.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Slash
he was
double.
thinking of the
Could freeze it in there.
thin type double, but I don't
All right,
think it's.
let's
Dangerous if we don't make it.
Oh yeah.
I don't think the thin double's there. That you hit it on the center line part, you could. Is he just trying a little? Is he drawing in there with that ice, or is he trying a little hit and flop?
I'm not sure. I didn't hear what they decided.
Now that looks like they probably ice for the hit and flop, little hit and low side flop. Again, you could hit this fairly well and only get third shot out of it, and it's still a draw for 3. But you have to be quite precise to make this in there for second
like
shot.
You got backing, right? So make sure we're there. We have to be sitting on that one.
Now I'm still
Just a little more, Greg.
with his comment. I'm really not
Yeah.
sure about what
Pinch,
we're trying to
right
do
here.
here.
3 to 1. Okay. Line's okay. It's got to move. It's got to move.
Yeah, it looks like it's hanging out there.
Yeah, he is playing the
through.
draw, and he's gonna have to curl, or it's gonna be a draw for 4. That has to get inside that third shot. He has to at least get third shot out of this now, and he doesn't. No, it was a good try, but maybe that wasn't the turn to play that on. But it just didn't curl, so it's again 2 pretty good throws for Jim Sias there for Yukon, but he really didn't get anything out of them. And now it's a free draw. Well, almost a free draw. He's got to be full 8 foot for Kevin Britz to get an out-turn draw here for 4, and I'd expect he'd make it because he really doesn't have any impediments on that side of the sheet.
Yeah. Full 4. Yeah. Well, probably full 8 is enough, but we're going for 4. Going 2 line. Yeah.
This is
I haven't seen this side of the sheet a whole lot.
No. They saw it 2 ends ago when Yukon just had to missed that draw to the button for 2.
Yeah, it does curl a lot, so should take some of the weight off this.
They're not touching it.
It's going. Stay close.
Yeah, I think he's gonna hit
Yep,
this,
yep.
the middle one.
Ooh, that's really going. Did that grab?
Hard boys, hard boys, hard boys.
Wow, yeah, it looks like it.
Roll that in.
Wow,
Well, that,
really?
I think that might have picked. That was he took quite a bit of ice, and to over curl like that,
Yeah, that was a wild curl. And
yeah.
he had good weight, as it turns out, at the end of the day, but he still only got 3. So after 4 ends here of the Travelers curling, after 4 ends, did I say 3? 4 ends of the Curling Club Championship, it's BC with a 4-2 lead, and over Yukon. It was a pretty good end, and I don't know, maybe did he have enough? Maybe
Played the
not
one
enough
guard
handle
over
on
there.
that one, Emma, because it seemed
played
to
the one
really kind
guard.
of go sideways at the end.
Yeah, I think that just
It was the way
picked.
it started to go. Yeah.
So
Well, even
I'll
when
just
you-
give the scores
oh, yeah,
quickly.
you know.
Alberta's up 5-2 in a men's game on Territories, 11-0 for Saskatchewan on a women's game over Nunavut. Manitoba's up 5-3 now over New Brunswick. Ontario has a 3-1 lead on Newfoundland in a women's game. And Quebec is down 4-1 to PEI on the women's game. So we're just going to take a little few-minute break here for 4 ends, and we'll be back to you in a few minutes.
Two months premature, and a heart condition. One might say I was born to overcome challenges. I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now. I have my sights set on the Olympics, and I will push hard to get there.
This curling season of champions brings clans from across your native land to engage in a battle of wits on a frozen sheet of hellfire. So go on, live it live.
The Tim Hortons Briar is at TD Place in Ottawa, March 5th to 13th. Be there and live it live.
Well, welcome back. Curling Club Championship at the Ottawa Hunt Club. I'm Art Miskew here with Emma Miskew, and we're doing the third round or third game for two teams from British Columbia and the Yukon. And after four ends, it's 4-2 for British Columbia over Yukon, and they just British Columbia just scored a 3 to go up 4-2. So they're starting the end off, and with an intern guard.
This spot is curling so much. It looked like they had tons of ice, and it's still going to cross center again.
Yeah. And he didn't mind that in. I think he might have actually been playing the draw in the house. With the 2-point lead, there's no real need to throw a guard there. So Yukon has to get the 2 points to get back in the ball game. And now they're throwing an out-turn corner. Now, this is interesting. He's taking almost a little more ice than Jim. Jim is taking a little more than he had on his draw for to sit 2 in that end. He actually ended up stealing 1, but it didn't curl enough on him. So let's just see what this one does from his lead.
Not in if we can help it. Not in if we can help it.
Brad Wilson throwing an out-turn corner here.
Ow.
And is he going to be in the rings? It looks like he is.
Okay.
Yeah, that spot looks pretty quick. I mean, it is a bit straighter, so that sometimes can make it a little bit faster.
And for those who haven't curled in a long time, with the free guard zone, leads rocks are so important. When you're down a couple, you really need that corner guard up. And to slip in the rings, it's too bad for the lead because it just changes the end around a bit and allows you not to be as aggressive. So nice intern takeout there for BC. So they're sitting 2. That was Darren Jarvis, so good solid shot. And now, does that change the strategy a bit for Yukon here? Let's see if he throws another corner guard. I think he will, eh?
Yeah, I think you have to. Their option is try to play a hit and roll, maybe blank this end, and then take hammer in the 6th end.
Keep her clean. Keep her clean.
It'll be interesting after he throws this corner to see what the strategy will be for BC. Are they going to try and just peel it out, or is he going to be more aggressive and try and get another rock in the rings? Because sometimes hard to peel it out for a whole end. But the first shot is a peel. James Crawford being asked to flow the out-turn peel. The intern might be a little trickier, a better chance of a jam on the shot rock.
Yep.
Looks pretty good. They don't want it to overcurl and jam it on the other rock, but I think he should be all right. Good throw from
nice shot.
Swimming, guys.
A little tricky to get that through there, so he did make it quite easily. Good shot for James Crawford. And now it's going to be a little bit of a game of trying to be patient here for the Yukon. They're going to have to try and keep throwing this guard up after the first one was in the rings. They didn't get the opportunity to get the free guard up. So now they're going to try and put them in spots where they're maybe a little harder to peel out.
Or just different spots, move it around so it's not the same shot over and over again.
What do you think about throwing almost a center guard here? It might be a little harder to peel out. I guess the risk there is that they might call your bluff and maybe come around that guard and put a little pressure on you.
You can place a tight guard, though, just a little closer to center, and it's still tough to peel.
Yeah. This is in a slightly different spot. Looks pretty good coming down from second here, James Crawford. Good peel there. That's what the competitive teams do pretty regularly. They're not going to miss too many peels, but some of these club curlers know how to play too. They just don't have time to go out on the tour all the time, and they can still make a lot of shots. They just maybe don't play regularly in as many games in competitions, but they play in the club, and they can make shots just like everybody else. And this is what you were saying, Emma, about mixing the guard up, moving it around. Now Yukon is playing the intern guard. Maybe a little further over than they would have liked, but it does definitely change the shot for BC to peel this out.
That spot curls just a little bit more, so got a little bit more finish.
Now, we were saying some of the teams don't play on the tour as much, but Kevin Britz did a number of years ago. In fact, he played on the competitive tour in some of the curling tour events, and has been in the BC men's playdowns, and has even been in the old skins games.
It's a nice peel here.
Yeah. So good start here for BC. They've after the missed guard came in from the lead, that changed the whole end around, and now BC has a chance to be more defensive with a 2-point lead. And again, it's only a 2-point lead. It's not a 3-point lead. That missed draw might come back to haunt them. You much prefer having a 3-point lead in these games with the 4-rock rule as opposed to the 2-point lead. And we're only halfway through the game. It's just this particular end looks like it's going to be played out as open as possible, as much as BC wants to do it. That rock got a little. If that had stopped a little closer to the center line, I could have seen BC maybe trying to come around it. But Kevin Britz now asking Kenneth Britz to throw the intern peel, but boy, he's taking a good foot or more of ice, so you know it's going to curl even with hit weight.
Hey! Right up, guys, right up! Right up, boys, right up!
Oh no, they are getting it out.
Good sweeping by BC. Looked a little tight, but it wasn't too bad, and that's what they're there for. Now we're coming down to the end of a little later in the end, so I don't know if Jim Sias is going to ask Greg Tom to actually play another guard, and no, he's not. I believe he's playing the outturn draw around the red rock in the top of the house. So he's going to use that as a corner guard.
Yeah. And if you're a little light and you freeze on top of it, it's pretty good too.
Yeah. You have to get this in.
Where's the weight? Yep. Keep her up. Hard.
Looks pretty close.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just wanted to stop here so that their second shot, and I don't think it will. They're still in, and it's buried, so it's a pretty good shot.
Yeah, we would have liked it to stop maybe, like you said, Emma, maybe a foot and a half shorter, but it's not terrible. It's but you would have to make a double if you want to get 2 in this end.
When talking originally about guarding that rock in the forefoot, the issue is the double is accessible from the open rock. So if you guard it and they make the double, then you're having to hit the open one and concede 2 right away. Whereas if
Yeah,
they
but I
go
think it's
in
doing
here,
that,
they
though.
have more of a shot of
think it's
holding them to 1.
Let's go there.
It was your number 3 rock that did it, not the 4, right?
They both did.
Now you
Yeah.
can see how much ice he's taking for this shot. Like you said, it curls a lot here, but wow. I guess he doesn't mind. If you happen to be wide, it's not an awful shot.
Like that?
But he does have to get it in, like you mentioned. He can't leave this short because as much as that's a tough double, you don't want to give anybody any, another opportunity here to get back in the ball game.
That's a little more than that's about what I gave Darren. But his is curling, we think. Ken seems to think they're all going that way, so. Top house, want to get it light anyway. Yeah.
Well, if we're
They're
waiting.
shipping this early. I'm not sure exactly where they want to put it, but I think it's top house in front of the rock in the forefoot.
Yeah, here your margin for error, I think, is deep. Like you'd almost rather be further in the rings, but I don't think he's going to get it there.
No, not quite. And I mean, the double's on automatic, but you are leaving it.
Yeah.
Still a tough shot for UConn here. They make it, they're sitting in good shape to get to this end.
Yep. And Jim Sias going down the sheet. He's been pretty decisive on this. He didn't hesitate on this. It's a tough call, but I think he realizes if he wants to get back and get his 2, he's going to have to try this shot. Now the risk, if you don't make it, you might have a tough time getting back in there because that other rock's in the forefoot and there's a guard up. So this is a big shot here. But the good thing is they have seen it. He's seen BC throwing the peels down here earlier in the end, so he should have a pretty good idea what the ace is going to do. Oop. Called off to start, but I think they're going to have to get ready on it. Here they
It
go.
looks pretty close. Oh, it's really curling.
Really over curling. They might even jam it. Well, it was too bad. It was an opportunity, but he didn't quite make it. It's tough throwing those thin doubles sometimes, isn't it? And you tend to visually overcompensate to have it overcurl because you don't want to miss everything. Is that fair to say, or?
Yeah, and I think you saw a couple of his draws run straight earlier in the game at that outturn there. So he was trying to make sure that he made contact first, but getting off the center line, it seems to curl a little bit more.
So now it looks like BC is playing an outturn takeout on this. I mean, they could be a little more aggressive here, try and put a little pressure on UConn, but maybe there's just a little concern that he could set up a double.
Yeah, his last couple of draws have really curled, so
This looks like he's got a roll. This looks like a good shot.
yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. That's almost
That's
perfect
a really
there.
nice shot.
Good shot. I mean, I was thinking he might draw there, but if you can hit and roll there, why not try that instead? That takes the rock out, and this becomes now a much more difficult shot for Jim Sias here from UConn. If that rock had rolled somewhere else, he would have a little more space because he knows this curls a lot. He could throw a good shot here, and if it over curls and touches that one, he could easily give up 2. So this is no picnic shot here for him. Even though he's seen this. Problem is you've seen it, but you've seen it curl so much. So it doesn't give you a lot of sense of confidence, I don't think.
Yeah, you'll have to make sure he has good rotation on this rock to ensure that it stays on the right line.
Yeah, the deliveries and the releases are key here, aren't they, Emma? Because when you're curling on swingy ice like this and you're used to playing in a club where there's straight ice, it can really change your thought process.
Oh, for sure. Playing on different ice surfaces, you really have to switch up how you release the rock, because if you throw it too straight on straight ice, you're not going to make any shots, and if you don't throw it straight enough on ice that curls, you're not going to make any shots either. So you really have to adapt your release.
Oh, in
This
case,
one's over curling.
I think he's also just light. He might get third shot, but I think he got third, and I can't quite see the
Yeah,
back.
they kind of gave up on that considering they could have got third shot.
They did give up a 3 from what I'm seeing. So that's a steal of 3 here for BC. So it's 7-2 here after 5 ends of the Travelers Curling Club Championship
Felt pretty
here at
confident,
the
but you're all waiting.
Ottawa Hunt and Golf Club.
Good job, Brad.
Just to remind everybody, tonight there's going to be another webcast game. It's going to be a women's game between New Brunswick and Alberta.
In or through?
So we're going to welcome you there. That's for those who don't live in the area, and if you do, I would suggest you come down here. And we're having a great time here. It's a nice club. It's the again the Ottawa Golf and Hunt Club. They've been great hosts here. They've started hosting a few national championships. We've had the mixed doubles championship nationals here the last 2 years, and now we've had the seniors here about I think it was 2009, and now we've got the club championship tournament here, and I think everybody's having a real good time.
It's a great facility for it.
And anybody who's also interested in picking up curling, has never tried it, and is just watching this, like a lot of the clubs in Ottawa, we at Hunt Club have a Learn to Curl League. It goes on Thursday nights, and if anybody's interested, just pop over and try and get some information from the curling director, Bill Duck. You can look it up on the website.
2-3, 2-3. Yeah, keep her coming, let it curl, come on. Yep, keep her
So
coming.
UConn's going to try to throw up a corner
Here we go.
guard here and hopefully get a couple points back.
Keep her coming.
Yeah, right now it's
Okay, good throw, Brad.
BC has good control of this game, and they want to keep it as open as they can. And they've thrown one through, and they're going to be throwing the second one through. Again, they can't hit that corner guard out, although they could try a tick on it. But it's a lot harder to play a tick when you don't have last rock, isn't it, Emma?
Yeah, it's tough on those corner guards to play a tick. You also don't want to try it and leave 2 corners up there.
So now with a second opportunity for a guard, Jim Sias can get it up. And here we're playing the regular, if people watch curling on TV, they've noticed in the Rogers Cup games that they use a 5-rock rule, but we're back here to the 4-rock rule, which is the sort of the real rule of World Curling Federation and the Canadian Curling Association. Slam events use the 5-rock just to try and generate more offense because of the hitting ability at a lot of the teams. So they want to get this even, though. They don't want to set up an easy double. Well, a double anyway. No, there's no such thing as an easy double in my view.
Okay, take it deep.
But
Yep, keep. Oh, that's good. That's pretty good.
They'll
Maybe
just
a
peel
tad.
the one here.
yeah, it's a little tough for a double, but they could take it on if they really had to, but there's no necessity to do it. So BC will be playing James Crawford, just a straight peel. He's going to play the same turn he played the peels on the last end. The out turn off the center.
Yep! Hey! Hurry!
It's pretty
Come
close.
on, guys, hurry!
Yeah, it's a nice shot there.
Yep.
Throwing those peels all the time isn't always easy, so you made a couple now.
And do you find the peels off the center line easier than coming back to the line?
It depends on the ice surface. It's all about preference. A lot of the time, you get used to throwing them off the center line because you have a rock in the forefeit that you don't want to jam on. So getting used to throwing them away from center is always a good idea.
And here he could have taken either turn because there's nothing to jam on, but looks like their preference is off center on those peels. Now Yukon trying to throw another corner guard up. Looks pretty good.
A little deeper on this one.
Yeah, they could take it on the double again, I guess, but like you were saying, it depends on their comfort level. They might not be used to playing a lot of double peels out here. And when you're making them the way you're making them, you might as well keep doing the shot you're comfortable with.
Yep, yep.
James Crawford again,
Yeah,
the
right
out-turn
up, right
peel.
up, right up.
They didn't jump on this, so it's probably pretty good. Yeah, nice shot.
Now that the rock's in the rings, it's not as crucial that it goes all the way out.
He's still biting, but that's a pretty good spot.
What's that? No, he was a little full, but it's finished.
Probably what, one more guard here, would you say, Emma?
Yeah, eventually they're going to have to
Line's
come
good.
around the guard and try to generate 2 points.
Line's good. Even them up. Even them up.
Good shot for Lee Malinchuk. It's the corner guards aren't necessarily hard shots because you do have some room to play with, but you don't want to set up a double. But it doesn't look like Kevin Britz is, at this point feeling inclined to take on the double. He's had a few opportunities, but there's probably no point. So he's just going to be happy, maybe just getting the one rock out at each time. Playing it out turn peel. They jumped it.
Hey!
Might be a little tight. What do you think?
Whoa, whoa!
Yeah, I think they're trying to go across the face now and roll out the other way, which they did. That was a good call by the skip to realize that they weren't going to be able to hold the line to roll out on the low side and let it curl up and roll out high side, or the other way around.
And when you make one of those peels, you feel a little embarrassed, but you smile and you say sorry, and you go to the next shot. It doesn't matter how you get it out, as long as you get it out and don't stay. And again, I would think now at thirds first rock, this is the last corner guard you'd be throwing.
Okay. Oh,
If they peel this one out, I would think they'd be coming around the next one. There's really no point in throwing a corner guard at even I would say even this late in the end, on thirds first rock. Would you throw a corner on thirds first rock going for 3, or would you come in around the one corner you already had?
Yeah, kind of running out of rocks here. I think you almost have to come around, but they're hoping still for a missed peel and maybe generate a couple more points.
Yeah, you need a couple misses, because if you do get the missed peel here, you come around one.
Hey!
They take out the corner behind the guard, and then you come around the other one, and they still take out the open rock, so you're still only going to get 2.
This one's not quite going to roll out, but they are rolling far enough over that they can't use it as a guard.
Yeah, the big thing was it didn't stay behind the other yellow and kind of leave 2 guards that you could come around. Now there's no doubt here that, Jim Sias asking Greg Tom here to get that in-turn draw around that corner guard. That's now if you're going to get 2, you really need this one in there.
line's pretty good. Okay. Lots of room. Lots of room. Lots of room. Whoa. Let on its
They're
own.
not touching this one. They must think it's just a little heavy.
Deep. It doesn't matter.
Almost more important to get it buried here than it is to be above the tee line, so that BC can't throw a takeout. They can see enough of it.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to play the takeout. One thing about throwing corner guards, too, you have to put them in a spot where you know the ice, too, don't you? Like, there's no point in just putting up a corner guard where you don't really know how you're going to get around it.
Yeah, a lot of the play is to the center line, so when you throw a corner guard, you have to be really aware of how much it's curling, so when you go to come around it, you can at least bury a piece.
Yeah, I got 3/4 or more.
So you just heard Kevin Britt say he's
Watch, it may
3/4
run
or
fairly
more.
straight here.
So he can see most of this raw.
Looks like just a soft normal weight shot here.
They're going hard on it. It's
hard.
off the center. Is he going to get by?
Wait, right to it.
Ooh.
Just,
Great sweeping. They just skinnied it by the guard. So really nice shot there for BC. Kind of shrugged his shoulders like saying, what's the problem? No problem. Got it by a mile. No, he was pretty happy with the sweepers there, I would think. That just got by the guard.
This back line, you said?
I think the Yukon, they're looking here to just tap that rock back a little bit and hopefully roll a little bit under the guard.
Yeah, I think he said just back line. So considering he's playing back line, he doesn't have a lot of ice. So
Like
you know it
back line,
doesn't curl
man.
big on this side of the sheet.
We don't even need to get rid of it. Like, there's no, we don't need to get rid of it. We just need to cross. Sit. So like 75 or 70.
Well, this is definitely one that has to be made if you want to get your 2. It has to be made perfectly, too. And then if you don't get your 2, you're really are behind the 8 ball in this game. So getting a 2, though, keeps you in the ball game. But this one has to be made perfectly.
Hard. Yeah. Yep. Hard. Yep. Gonna go. Hard. Yep.
It looks like it's curling.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, he's on the guard.
He's just, again, a little bit light,
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
think.
it's just light.
I wonder if he doesn't like it. Or is it a slightly different release, too? He seems to get more curl. So maybe just with the a little bit of a softer release with the tuck delivery, doesn't pop it. So he's had a few that have just over curled on him.
Get as much for
Now that's too bad because obviously it's eliminated the 2, but now he's going to have a hard time scoring if Kevin Britz can get this guard up for BC.
Yeah, he'll have to take the intern draw, which they did throw a couple ends ago, but he has to hit the button.
Oh, we steal one.
And that's never easy when you're down 7-2. At the best of times, it's never easy, but not when it's going this way.
Now, recovery, he's got to hit the pin.
Some other games here. Alberta just beat Northwest Territories. They were up 10-2, and I don't know what happened in the 6th end. Saskatchewan's up 16-0. They must have finished their game against Nunavut on the women's side.
That's the way.
Whoa. Whoa.
Lots of
Gotta
room
work,
in
gotta
this
work.
shot, but
Whoa,
it will
whoa,
curl.
Whoa, wow. Let it work. We're on the
He
guard.
threw this guard a few ends ago, and it over curled, so I think he took a little bit of extra ice here because
Yep.
he knows it will come back.
Hard.
That assuming it has the
Hard.
weight here, that should definitely get the job done.
All the way. All the way. Stay on it. Stay
Want
on
to
it.
finish
Get
it
on
a
it. Get on it.
little bit.
Oh,
That's
yep,
pretty
yep, yep,
good.
yep.
Yeah, I don't think you want to take that port on.
No.
Another score, Manitoba men are up 8-3, I believe, on New Brunswick. Ontario women are up on Newfoundland and Labrador 5-1. And PEI women are up 5-2 on Quebec. Now, this is a big shot for Jim Sias here. I don't like to be negative, but if he doesn't make it, I really think that's all she wrote on that side. So this is to stay in the ball game. Let's see how much handle he throws on this. If he's a little soft, maybe, or he's had a little more curl, but maybe it's because of his weight. It's a nice looking release. No, it's just a question of his weight. He looks like he's got pretty good line coming in.
Room.
Yeah, he definitely has. The line's fine. It'll be up to the sweepers to put it on the tee line.
He still has to be right near the button, doesn't he?
Yeah, it has to stop right on the tee. Let's stop. So close.
Gee, just missed that one.
Really good try there.
Yeah, one for BC. So after 6 ends here of the Travelers Curling Club Championship from the Ottawa Hunt Club, it's BC 8 now and the Yukon 2. And
Good game.
that looks like it's all she wrote. Is they're pulling off the gloves, they're shaking hands, and that's the final score now. It's BC 8 and Yukon 2. So that'll be a... Sorry?
Good, great shots from both teams for the first few ends. It just unfortunately got a little out of hand with that steal of 3 and 5. Otherwise, this was a really good game.
Yeah, that was just a missed draw there, but it was set up by a great roll by BC. So just to remind everybody, if you're not going to come out to the game, we encourage you to come out, though, if you're in the Ottawa area. But the next game is going to be on the webcast here tonight at 7:30, and it's going to be a women's game between New Brunswick and Alberta. So if we don't see you in person here, we'll hope to see you on the webcast. So this is Art Miskew thanking everybody for coming and watching this, and on behalf of myself and Emma Miskew, we'll see you tonight.